Today, now, in America, the conversation about public safety is at every dinner table. And now is the time to actually have meaningful long-term impacts. At the time, crime was significantly up. It was a very challenged part of Oakland. We had staffing issues, we had resource issues, and we went away from trying to enforce our way out of a problem and got more into collaborating with our community. I knew I couldn't get police officers overnight, but I did know that if I worked with the residents and the business owners, that we would have increase in personnel, if you will, on a 24-hour basis. And the community that we served, they knew that there were officers they could call at any given time. They had their cell phone numbers. That's what community policing is about. We reduced crime significantly. I think we had a 26% reduction in homicides, 11% reduction in other violent crimes. We have to evolve as a profession. We have to evolve as a society. And in order to stay in sync and to be relevant and to be viewed as a resource, you have to live in inquiry. But I think living in inquiry is being comfortable and confident in taking a look at yourself and say, what could I have done better? And those are one of the tenets that I learned at St. Mary's, is never being satisfied with what we have today. And I carry those values, I carry those lessons, and they just guide me even to today as a police officer, but not just as a police officer, as a father, as a husband, as a friend, as a neighbor. I'm proud to be a St. Mary's Gael.
New Chief of the Department of Violence Prevention, Dr. Holly Joshi.
I was a member of the Oakland Police Department. I think I worked in every department that you could. I was the chief of staff. I ran an investigative unit that was focused on violent crime intervention and response. I was an undercover officer. I was out here in East Oakland for several years partnering with community-based organizations. Our role at the DVP is to focus on prevention and intervention because we want to reduce the footprint and the need to utilize the criminal justice system.
Growing up in the Bay Area and spending, so much of my childhood in Oakland, I realized pretty early on that there were multiple Oaklands. So many people were unable to live up to their full potential because of the lack of resources and supports and protection. And so that became, my obsession, to be honest with you, is really figuring out how to utilize the police department and city resources and government resources. And because I was the chief of staff, and we were tasked with really driving significant systemic change at the Oakland Police Department at that time. I mean, we were basically trying to move, a 150-year-old Titanic of a ship from identifying the work of policing from warriors to guardians. While I was getting my master's degree program, we made big changes at the Oakland Police Department. A huge piece of my community now is St. Mary's. They're just such a powerful group of individuals who have, hands and antennas and power in the Bay Area, all across the Bay in so many different sectors, and that they're all committed to using that power and their leverage points for good.